Once a week I have the opportunity to go into the local high school, junior high building here in town and do a little FCA program. I'm one of the huddle leaders. So myself and the softball coach, every week, him and I, we get together and we go over to the school and we hang out with some students during the lunch period. We have a little pointed conversation, discussion, try to spread some encouragement. And the local principal is totally on board and he lets us do it. So it's a fantastic opportunity. So just got back from doing that. I'm on the bike now. The dog was playing over there. I don't know where she went. But we got a good one today. Let's get into it. Hey, if you haven't already, please be sure to hit the like button. If you want to, comment. Give me some encouragement. Tell me what you like, what you don't like, something you'd rather see me do, something like that. And be sure to subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. And join me on my Veganuary journey. Eating vegan, doing a Zwift workout every day, trying to improve my FTP by following a vegan diet. But let me get into today's workout. Being a youth pastor though, being in youth ministry, just working with youth as a whole, probably one of the hardest yet most rewarding jobs or careers that one could have. Definitely for me, very difficult, very taxing at times, just very heavy at times. That's the worst part. Seeing what some of these young people are going through nowadays, totally different than what I went through when I was their age. And I'm only 28 now. Kids growing up now, it's just, dude, it's a totally different world for them. Totally different world, totally different struggles. And walking with students as they go through that kind of stuff, like some of that like really weighs on you. And if it doesn't, it really should. So that's the really difficult part of all of it. The really rewarding part is seeing them come through it on the other side. Ideally, I want to see them live a fulfilling life without regret, a life that is honoring to God, that's going to set them on the right path and be reflective to others around them. One of the most rewarding parts and one of the parts that I'm the most passionate about is seeing like the outcast kind of kid who may not have a whole lot of friends, who may not connect super well, bringing them in to youth group. And over time, nothing's immediate. Change in people's lives, not immediate whatsoever. Change, especially when we're talking about people, takes a long time. So seeing change over time in young people's lives, seeing them connect some dots, whether that's in some social circles and build friendships and relationships, connect some dots on their faith and spirituality, and seeing them grow closer to Christ over time, that's where the real win is. And that's what I love about it. So actually today, as I was typing out some of my annual review kind of stuff, getting nostalgic in a sense, reflecting on that and just seeing and remembering, going back through old pictures on our youth groups, Instagram and Facebook, and like seeing events we did, seeing people want to help each other out, want to serve our community, want to come together. Yeah, of course we have a ton of fun, like that's a given. But ultimately they choose to go on these trips, they choose to come to this church, they choose to be a part of our youth group, and they're choosing to get out of their own bubble and be in community with one another. And that's what I love to facilitate. I love to facilitate that. In church we call that fellowship. Becoming friends with, interacting with people you might not interact with on a regular basis, or you might not choose to talk to these people at school. One of my biggest goals and one of my most steep uphill battle is not making it like your mom's church or something like that. Everyone has this like idea of what they think it's like. I'm trying to kind of flip that script, and dude, if we're not having fun, we're doing something wrong. But on the flip side, you can get fun anywhere. So that's kind of the hardest part. If it's just fun, you can get that anywhere and students might not come back. The real thing, in my opinion, is authentic relationships. So I have this whole program, this whole dichotomy in place where students can relate with one another and get to know each other a little bit better. And then I try to do events throughout the year where we take a trip, where we do an all-nighter, where we go and do some service projects around the community. We have a Super Bowl party coming up. Just things like that. People want to be a part of, that there is a draw, that there is a fun aspect to it, but there's also, more importantly, a relational aspect where we can come together and like serve, come together, and where we can come together and work towards a goal. That's why I love our mission trips that we do, and to just facilitate that kind of stuff and see people come in like as individuals, not really knowing people. And I encourage people, stick it out. Give it 3 weeks in a row. The first week, it's always weird because you're doing something for the first time. It's not going to be, you're not going to love it. Come 3 weeks in a row. You'll get to know some other people's name. Other people get to know your name. You'll kind of know the flow of things and how it all operates on every given youth group night. And then go from there. But I want you to have an open mind and an open heart. Give it 3 weeks in a row. Work on getting plugged in. Work on building some relationships with some other people. Dude, bring a friend. Who cares? That's what I love to see. And I love to see people grow relationally. And truth be told, our country right now, we have an absolute crisis of relationships. People, like, dude, online school, I don't know if you know this, is the worst thing ever. Quarantine is the worst thing ever. All these lockdowns, all these shutdowns, closing schools long term. The worst ideas ever. The worst thing you could do for a young person's social skills, relationships, relatability is lock them in a room with a screen for months on end. It doesn't stop with our youth today. Like, I'm also the young adults pastor at our church. Post high school, post college, young married people. Like, I work with all these people, and like, if they're not out and about and having like face-to-face relationships with one another, we're doing ourselves a huge disservice as a society. Dude, you have to get out. You have to be in community. You're not meant for isolation. No one's meant for isolation. Trust me, I love my downtime. I love my free time. I love my time where it's just me or just me and Bethany. But I also very much love my time with other people, interacting with other people, having face-to-face conversations and discussions. Sometimes they're great, sometimes they're a little uncomfortable, but I know it's good for me to always be doing that. It's a dark, dark, slippery slope to be in isolation, and it leads to a lot of bad things, and that's been proven time and time and time again, especially in these last few years, with a lot of people doing a lot of backsliding in their own free time, getting into some old bad habits, giving into some temptations. Dude, being alone, being bored, that is a recipe for disaster. But you have to be in relationship. You have to be in community with one another. Truth of the matter is, God has made us for relationship. First and foremost, to be in a relationship with Him. And secondly, being in relationship and being in community with one another, with those around us, having friends and reaching one. So on that note, I know I have several youth students watching these videos. Hey, you need to be inviting people to youth group. I want to see that happen as well. So I know you watching this. I see you. It's a dark world out there, man. It's only getting darker. These people need encouragement. We are called to be the light and to share the light with one another. So I want to see us. I want these videos to be an encouragement to people. I want to see people come out of that darkness and into the lights. I hope these videos are an encouragement. I know sometimes a little goofy, sometimes a little more serious, but nonetheless, hey, give me a follow. Follow me as I continue on this Veganuary journey, as I try to increase my FTP following a vegan diet. And be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.